Welcome to Summer 7.2, Multiplying Dividing Rational Numbers. So the first thing that we're working on here is we're going to convert a fraction to a decimal. We always put the denominator into the numerator. We place our decimal point. 5 doesn't go into 3. 5 goes into 39 7 times. 7 times 5 is 35. We subtract. That gives us 4. We add a 0 and bring it down. 5 goes into 48 times. And we have no remainder. So that is going to give us 7.8 as a decimal. Find the product, write your answer as a fraction. Whenever we multiply mixed numbers, we have to convert them to improper fractions. So we do 2 times 1 is 2 plus 1 is 3. So that is negative 3 halves times 5 times 1 is 5 plus 4 gives us 9. So that's negative 9 fifths. When we multiply fractions, we don't need a common denominator. We're just going to multiply across. We're going to look to see if we could cross cancel, which we can't reduce any of these numerators and denominators. So we'll just multiply numerator times numerator. Negative 3 times negative 9 is positive 27. 2 times 5 is 10. So you get 27 tenths. And it says write your answer as a fraction or a mixed number in simplest form. So that is a fraction. We'll see how Big Ideas takes it. We put since I don't think they understand that an improper fraction is a fraction. I think that they think a fraction is less than 1. So you might, and that's an or, that's 2 7/10. So don't give me 2 answers. In tests this year in 8th grade, we're not going to do 2 answers. Give me 1. Commit to 1. I'm never going to make you write it as a mixed number. This is going to be the answer that I'm going to expect as long as it's in simplest form. Find the quotient. Quotient means division. This is the denominator. This is negative 8.4 over 2.4 is really what's happening here. So my denominator into my numerator. I don't care about the sign. The sign, this is my direction. The direction is going to be negative, and negative divided by a positive is always going to equal a negative number. We want to write it as a decimal. Well, first of all, whenever we divide decimals, our decimal has to be a whole number. So I got to move this decimal point one place to the right. If I do it in the outside, I need to make sure that I also do it in the inside. So this actually becomes 24 divided by 84. My decimal point now is after the 4. 24 goes into 84. Let's see that. 3 is going to be 12, 6, 72. So I'm going to say 3, which is 72. Gives me 12. My remainder must be smaller than my divisor. If it was greater than 24, that would mean that I can take a bigger number here. I'll add the 0 and bring it down. So 24, let's do 5, that's 20, that's 120. So that's going to be negative 3.5 is my answer as a decimal. Evaluate, write your answer. I love this. This is great. So this is what we call a vinculum. This is our first challenging question of the summer. And we have a vinculum, and it says negative 7 halves divided by 1/2 plus 1/2. So this vinculum, we have to simplify what's in the numerator and simplify what's in the denominator. So I got to do this first. I got to add 1/2 plus 1. So the first step is adding 1/2 plus 1. I'm going to turn 1 into halves. 2 halves gives me 1, so that's going to be 3 halves. So this fraction now becomes negative 7 halves divided by 3 halves. And a lot of students would go, I don't know what to do. Well, we're going to convert this to a different division, to that division sign. Negative 7 halves divided by 3 halves. And there's no division in when we when we divide fractions, so we have to convert to multiplication. We keep, switch from division to multiplication, and flip, meaning we take the reciprocal. And now, can we cross cancel anything? No. So we're going to multiply across, gives us negative 14/9 is my answer. I'm going to look, give it as a fraction or a mixed number in simplest form. 14/9 is in simplest forms. Now, just in case they want a mixed number, that's going to be negative 1 5/9 if they want it as a mixed number. Again, it'll be interesting to see what they will accept. I'm pretty certain that Big Ideas probably is asking you to convert it to a mixed number, but that's not what I need. Find the product. We have a negative times a positive, which gives us a negative. 7 times 9 is 63. We should know our times tables. Times tables all the way up from 1 times 1 all the way up to 12 times 12. We should know our times tables, proficient at that, and we shouldn't have to require a calculator. Negative times a negative is a positive. 2 times 5 is 10. We have division. This is negative 16 over negative 2. A negative divided by a negative is going to be a positive, and we get positive 8. We get that same 16. Then we have a positive divided by a negative, which is a negative. 16 over 8 simplifies to 2. Write the decimal as a fraction in simplest form, so we get negative 45 over 100. How did I go 100? Because it goes to the hundredths place. Hundredths. And now we have to simplify. So 5 goes into 45 9 times. 5 goes into 120. So negative 9/20. Ooh, evaluate. Write your answer. All right, so we've got an exponent here. So we have to be very aware of our operations. We have multiplication here, and then we have addition. So we're going to square. So step 1 is squaring negative 1/6 squared equals negative 1/6 times negative 1/6. It's the base 2 times, multiplying. Negative 1 times negative 1 is 1. 6 times 6 is 36. So this simplifies to positive 136 plus, now we're going to multiply these two. We have 4/9 times negative 1/7. So we're going to do this multiplication. That's our second step. 4/9 times negative 1/7 gives us negative 4/63. So I have 136 minus 4/63. Okay, so now we have to find the common denominator. So we're going to do our LCM again. We better be proficient by the end of the summer of finding LCMs. We're going to take 36. We're going to do the prime factorization, which is 6 times 6. So that is 2 times 2 times 3 times 3. It gives us 36. 63 is going to be 3 times 3 times 7. So LCM. I want to circle what they have in common. They have a 3 in common. They have another 3 in common. And then leftovers. L is for leftovers. We have a 2, and a 7. So my LCM is going to be what they have in common, and then what they have left over. That's 9 times 4 times 7, which is 36 times 7, which gives us 42. That's 21,252. We can check. Let's check. 9 times 4 times 7, 252. So that's my common denominator. Hi-ya. Okay, so what did we say? 252 and 252. So 36. So that's times 7. So that's 7 over 252. That's the equivalency. Step 4 would be finding equivalencies. So we've found 136 equals how many 252nds? We're going to multiply that by 7. We get 7 over 252. And then 4/63. So 4/63 equals how many 252nds? And what was it? 63. So that's times 4. 16. So 16. So that's 7 minus 16, which gives us negative 9 252nds. Now let's reduce, because 9 goes into 252 and it goes into it 28 times. So that's negative 1 over 28. And I was able to do all that division because I see what the numbers are. Divide by 9, so 9 times 28, so divide by 9. That's how we do it. That's a nice, easy way. Write your answer in simplest form, negative 128. Find the next two numbers in the pattern. Okay. Well, it's not subtraction because that would be minus 200. This is 200. So maybe divide by 5? Divide by 5. If we divide 5 into 1250, goes in 2 times, 10, goes in 5 times, 0, yeah. So we're going to divide actually by a negative because we notice the sign changed here. So we divided by negative 5, divided by negative 5. We'll divide this by negative 5, which gives us negative 10. And then divide this by negative 5, we get positive 2. So the next two numbers in the pattern are negative 10 and positive 2. It's going to constantly revert back and forth to positive and negative. Two integers A and B have a product of 12. What is the least possible sum of A and B? Well, factors of 12 are going to be 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4, 5, no, and we're good. What's the least possible sum? The least. Now this is going to be tricky. You know what it also can be? It can be negative 1 and negative 12, negative 2 and negative 6, negative 3 and negative 4. So the least possible sum. So if we add these, that makes 13, that makes 8, this makes 7. A lot of people would answer 3 and 4, but I think you forgot that you can get negative 13, negative 8, and negative 7. So the least possible sum of A and B is going to be negative 13. That's going to be a very tricky answer. I bet you a lot of students get number 12 incorrect. So because we need to be able to see that product, two negatives make a positive 12. The table shows the heights that 4 people parachute from an airplane. What is the range of the heights? Write your answer as a decimal or fraction in simplest form. So this is the height, and this is the mile. Shows the height that 4 people parachute from a plane. But in miles, height and it's in miles, but 2.25 is not equal to 2 1/3. And this, what? Table shows the heights. Oh, that 4 people parachute from. Okay, sorry. These are 4 different individuals. Got it. 4 different individuals in 4 different formats. We have a decimal, we have a mixed number, we have an improper, we have another mixed number. So when we take the range, you're taking the max minus the min, the maximum value minus the minimum, and they want to see if you understand which of these values is the largest. So the first thing is we're going to change 47/20 to 2 7/20, and now we can change that to a decimal if we want. That's going to be times 5 to make 100, so 2.35 is going to be this. This is 2.35. That's more than this. That's going to be 2.3 repeating. This is going to be 2.4 because double it. So we want to take our maximum value, which is going to be 2.4, and we're going to subtract our minimum value, which is 2.25. That's our smallest value. And you subtract those two, 2.40 minus 2.25 gives me borrow 1. So the range of the heights is 0.15 miles. Mercury travels about 107,100 miles per hour as it revolves around the sun. How far does Mercury travel in 3 seconds? Write your answer as a decimal, so miles per hour, but we're in seconds, so we have to convert the miles per 1 hour. It's a unit rate, and we have to convert it to minutes and then seconds. So I got to get out of hours. What's going to get rid of hours in the denominator? Yeah, hours in the numerator. And then we can't go from hours to seconds. We'll go hours to minutes. So 1 hour, and that's 60 minutes. 1 hour is equivalent to 60 minutes. We're out of hours because the hour in the denominator and numerator cancel, but I'm in miles per minute. So I want to get out of minutes. Minutes are in the denominator. So if I put minutes in the numerator and seconds in the denominator, 1 minute, 60 seconds. That cancels out my minutes. Now I'm in seconds. I'm in miles per second. Now I have to simplify. These are denominators. This is in the numerator. This 0 will cancel with this 0. This 0 will cancel with this 0. So we're left with 1,071 miles per 36 seconds. I don't want 30 seconds. I want 3 seconds. So if we divide this by 12 and divide this by 12, that would reduce this to 3 seconds. And 107.71 divided by 12. Whew. There's my 12 times tables that I need to know. 9 is 108. So it's going to be 8, which is 96. Right? 12 times 8 is 96. 12 times 8 is 96. That's correct. Subtract those. That's 1. That's 1. Bring down the 1. So 12 goes into 111. Well, that goes in 9 times. 9 is 108. That gives me 3 left over. My decimal point. Add a 0. I mean, do we want to add a 0 or do we want to just leave it, write your answer as a decimal? Oh, a decimal, yeah. So I'm going to keep going. So 12 goes into 30 2 times. That's 24. I'm going to add a 0. 12 goes into 60 5 times. 5 times? 5 times. 5 times. So there's my decimal answer. So it's 89.25 miles for every 3 seconds. 89.25 miles in every 3 seconds. It will travel. That's a good one. That's comprehension. Notice the conversion. These are conversion boxes that we're doing. These are equivalent to 1. 1 hour is equivalent to 60 minutes. This is my second conversion box. I was getting out of hours. I wanted to stay in miles, so I wanted to get out of this time, and I used the conversion boxes. A rectangular prism has a length of 5/6 of an inch and a width of 2/5 of an inch. The volume of the prism is 4/9 cubic inches. Find the height of the prism. Write your answer as a fraction. So we're taking volume of a regular prism. Volume equals big B times H. B stands for base area. So I need to know what's my shape. My shape is a rectangle. So the base area of a rectangle is length times width, and then times my height. And they give me the length. So I'm going to substitute the length of, and then it also gives me the width. And it wants to know, find the height. So that's why we're looking for a height. And we also know the volume. We know that the volume is this. So we'll substitute those values in. So 4/9 equals 5/6 times 2/5 times the height. I want to simplify first. We can cross cancel the 5 and the 5 cancel. The 2 cancels with the 6 and makes 3. So we're equal to 1/3 the height equals 4/9. I want to get h by itself. It's being multiplied by 1/3. The reciprocal is 3 multiplied by 3. That 3 is in the numerator. That 9 is in the denominator. I'm going to cross cancel again, giving me 4/3 equals the height. And now I want to use units. It's inches. So 4/3 inches is going to be my height. Another really good multi-step problem. And here's the answer keys. So let's see. So they said write a fraction as a decimal. Yep, we gave it as a decimal. All right, they allowed you to write it as an improper fraction, so we can leave it as impropers. Negative 3.5. Yep, we did that. We got that one. Negative 7/3. Okay, so I think I changed that maybe. So we can leave it as an improper. Thank you, big ideas. Love it. We got negative 63. We got positive 10. We've got positive 8. Negative 2. Yep, negative 9/20. We reduced that. Negative 1/28. Yep. Negative 10 and 2. Those are my two next digits. 2 integers. Yes, negative 13. Love it. Yep. 0.15 is the range. Mercury was 89.25 miles. 1 1/3. I did not give it as 1 1/3. Write your answer. I gave it as 4/3 inches. That's it. There was only 15 problems. Not bad. Okay. So your first week is down. You got 9 more weeks. We're just constantly brushing up. All these things you need to be proficient at. Not guessing at it, not scratching your brain about it. You should be proficient. You should be able to go. Look at the problem and attack. Not look at the problem, hem and haw, wonder what to do. You should be attacking these problems. Good luck.